Hey everyone, welcome back to Arijit Talk Sports. This is Arijit, and today we're talking about what to expect from the Indian cricket team now. So, without any delay, let's begin. So, the first test match between India and Australia in the four test match series is already over, and Australia have completely outmatched India in the first test. So, that leaves us asking what should we expect from India going forward? So, सबसे पहले talking about that first test match. I mean, after day two, I am pretty sure, along with a lot of other people, had the feeling that India could actually go on and win this if they could bat well on day three. But day three ko jo hua, that was so difficult to see for any Indian cricket fan because I mean, it was just a collapse. I mean, getting all out for 36 is just inexplicable. I mean, आपका एक बैट्समैन अंडर परफॉर्म कर सकता है दो बैट्समैन अंडर परफॉर्म कर सकता है बट फॉर 10 people to get out on a total score of 36 is just I mean I don't know what to say like seriously इंडियन बैटिंग लाइनअप में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है और आई थिंक कि हमेशा रहा है कि ओवर डिपेंडेंस ऑन टू थ्री प्लेयर्स हमेशा रहा इन आई मीन इन रीसेंट टाइम्स तो ओवर डिपेंडेंस ऑन टू थ्री प्लेयर्स आई फेल्ट कि विराट कोहली रहाणे और पुजारा इनके अलावा there were no real performers in that Indian batting lineup in the sense कि you couldn't expect a lot from any of these people if the batting lineup was failing. Agar Virat Kohli, Rahane, and Pujara didn't turn up, like, would you expect anyone else to turn up for that team? I don't know. I'm not sure because I see good signs from Mayank Agarwal, but Prithvi Shaw was definitely disappointing. I don't know what Hanuma Vihari and Ridhiman Saha were doing in the first test. So I mean, didn't see anyone who was willing to say, okay, I'll step up for the team. And that, I think, is so worrying going forward. I think कि batting lineup में बहुत सारे changes आने का ज़रूरत है. Obviously, Prithvi Shaw needs to go out. You need to bring in KL Rahul. I feel कि KL Rahul को open कराना चाहिए. You need to bring in Shubman Gill. He deserves a chance. And obviously, Virat Kohli, जो कि obviously he's leaving after the first test, so you have to fill in that big hole that he leaves. When it comes to test matches, there are 4 countries जिसके tours को आप सबसे ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्ट करते हो जिसके टूर से आप सबसे ज्यादा डरते हो आप you can put it anyway. That's South Africa, New Zealand, England and Australia, and this is especially true for the subcontinent teams. और टेस्ट मैच एक ऐसा फॉर्म है जो कि 5 दिन तक आपको लिटरली टेस्ट करता है राइट और होम कंडीशंस वाली टीम को बहुत ज्यादा एडवांटेज रहता है एंड कंसीडरिंग द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट कंडीशंस एंड द कंडीशंस इन दीज 4 countries, India obviously historically have had a very difficult time playing in these 4 countries और हमेशा बैटिंग कोलैप्स करता रहा. You can look at the history of the Indian batting line barring the 2018 series जो कि इंडिया ने बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म करके जीता ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. Apart from that, every England tour that they've been on, every Australian tour they've been on, और अगर आप न्यूजीलैंड टूर जो कि earlier this year हुआ उसमें भी देखो तो India had multiple batting collapses. It was obviously not as bad as 36 all out, but multiple times batting collapses होता रहा है. You combine that कि इंडिया इस कंडीशंस में बैटिंग नहीं कर पाती है जनरली बहुत अच्छा बहुत बड़े स्कोर्स नहीं मार पाती ऑब्वियसली इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट में दे डोमिनेट द ऑपोजिशन बट दैट्स नॉट रियली द चैलेंज दैट्स नॉट हाउ यू कैन विन द वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप दैट्स नॉट हाउ यू कैन बी द वर्ल्ड्स नंबर 1 टेस्ट टीम. आई फील यू नीड टू विन टेस्ट मैचेस इन दीज डिफिकल्ट कंडीशंस और इसके लिए इंडिया की बैटिंग लाइन बिल्कुल रेडी नहीं है बिकॉज वी हैव सीन देम कोलैप्स मल्टीपल टाइम्स ओवर डिपेंडेंस ऑन 2-3 प्लेयर्स. And I don't really know. I mean, जो players है इंडियन टीम में अगर आप उनको देखो तो you don't see them willing to step up for the team. अगर आप एक कैरेक्टर चेंज का जरूरत है हर प्लेयर में जो कि परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा है क्योंकि I mean, if the team is failing, every player who is on that team should have the ability to say, I am going to step up for the team today and I'm going to perform, right? But you don't see that. Can we expect that from Hanuma Vihari? Every player in that team is a great player, but I haven't seen them really step up, in these difficult conditions for India. And we need those kinds of players if we expect to beat Australia. These deficiencies in the batting lineup, I feel, is going to put a lot more pressure on the bowling lineup. क्योंकि अगर आप फर्स्ट टेस्ट देखो तो इंडिया का bowling lineup में more or less बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, especially Ashwin और Jasprit Bumrah, and they need to carry that form from the first test to the second test because India are going to need that. Now Mohammad Shami has been ruled out for the second test and Ishant Sharma is still not playing, तो थोड़ा सा experience lack करेंगे वहाँ पे इंडिया. I feel कि जो भी youngster स्टेप अप करता है फॉर मोहम्मद शमी इन इस प्लेस नीड्स टू परफॉर्म बिकॉज इंडिया के बॉलिंग लाइनअप पे इतना ज्यादा प्रेशर है बिकॉज बैटिंग लाइनअप इतना ज्यादा डिफिशिएंट है कि यू कांट रियली एक्सपेक्ट एनीथिंग फ्रॉम देम इन माय ओपिनियन at the MCG at that big of a stage on Boxing Day it's going to be too much for that batting lineup and the Australian batting lineup are just going to blow them apart unfortunately. तो bowling lineup से हमें बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करना पड़ रहा है इस पॉइंट पे और when you talk about the bowling lineup, I am telling you कि Australia की जो batting lineup है अभी बहुत strong है, especially before the first test, I felt कि Australian batting lineup was better than the Indian batting lineup. After the first test, I felt that the Australian batting lineup is much, much stronger than the Indian batting lineup. So obviously, we need to get them out cheaply in this test. Or obviously, that's going to be so difficult to do considering the fact कि कितना talent भरा हुआ है, and especially the best test batsman in the world by far, I feel, Steve Smith. And Steve Smith loves batting against India. Steve Smith loves batting at the MCG. Steve Smith loves batting on Boxing Day. So it is going to be so difficult to get him out. And he is the danger man. And if Steve Smith gets going, I promise you that match is going to be over. It is going to be another humiliation for India because he is just going to keep battering those Indian bowlers. So you need to get him out. Obviously, there's talent all over the field. So you need to get everyone out cheaply. But Steve Smith is the danger man. So you talk about an Indian batting lineup which is terribly deficient, जो मुझे लगता है कि कुछ ज्यादा कर नहीं पाएगी उस MCG टेस्ट में. Combine that with an Indian bowling lineup which is facing a very strong Australian batting lineup और जिसपे बहुत ज्यादा pressure है to perform because of the bad batting lineup that India has right now. So I mean that becomes so difficult a test match for India to win. MCG है, Boxing Day है, इतना बड़ा स्टेज है, ऑस्ट्रेलियन कंडीशंस जहाँ पे इंडिया ऑब्वियसली बहुत पुअर परफॉर्म करती है, विराट कोहली कैप्टन नहीं है, सो यू आर गोइंग टू लैग. आई मीन Rahan is going to be a good captain, I feel, but obviously Virat Kohli is their captain, and you don't have him. You don't have him in the batting lineup. You don't have his leadership on the field. That I think is going to be too much for India to recover. Sare odds against India ke. I don't expect them to win the second test match. In fact, I don't expect them to win anything in this test. I expect Australia to win all the remaining test matches, and that is so difficult for me to say because before this test series, before the first test match, I was so hopeful that India could muster something in this test series. But obviously after that collapse that we saw, I don't have any hopes left because this team is just going to be a weaker team compared to the team that played in the first test. That team was demolished. This is a bigger stage, Boxing Day, MCG. I expect this team to be demolished as well. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but this is what I expect personally from the team right now. So with that, we can end the video. Comment section में comment करके बताना कि आपको क्या लगता है. What should we expect from this test team moving forward? मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा आपके comments को देख के. I know it was sort of a rant on the Indian cricket team और बहुत poor light में paint कर रहा है इस team को, but I think that's how I feel about this team right now. I'm deeply disappointed after that collapse that we saw in the first test. So yeah, big reasons to worry, but hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one as always.